Frank Coto from Lincoln Lending Group, Ryan Pelky from TampaBay Plumbers, and Doug Ford with Suncoast Roofing Solutions on 970 WFLA. These three business owners will teach you how to work to live it up, not live to work. Now sit back, grab a cold one if you have one, and get ready for some serious business talk with three hilariously serious business owners. Now, your host of the Business Happy Hour, Frank Coto.
Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. How are you guys doing? I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday morning. I know I'm doing good. Weather outside is beautiful right now, living in Tampa. Got an incredible guest host with us, along with my favorite co-host, Ryan Pelky, owner of Tampa Bay Plumbers. How you doing, man?
Doing well, doing well. We missed you last week, for sure.
I know. I was sitting on a dirty beach in the Dominican.
You know, and honestly, we had a great time. We had a great show last week. We had Amy on with all kinds of bourbons out here.
Yeah, of course you guys choose the show that I'm not here to have like 18 bourbon flights, right?
Oh, my God.
I know, right? Go ahead. That other voice you guys hear in the background, that is today's co-host guest. That is Kevin Meredith. I've known Kevin for a number of years now. We met in the real estate world, and Kevin is an incredible attorney here in town. I wouldn't say young up-and-comer, but he's already crossed that path, I think, and he's very well established. He runs Florida's Law Office, which is floridaslawoffice.com. I'll give you some information a little later, but you guys can always call the law office at 813-530-6020. Kevin, how you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. This is Kevin's first time on radio, too, right?
It is.
Man, he's already ready for it. He's got the earphones. He's got the mic. He's good to go.
You got a good URL there. Florida's Law Office?
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Did you have to buy that from somebody? You just get that?
No, I just spent hours upon hours typing in website names and
yeah, 1989.
Big picture. And
1989 you did that.
Yeah, in 89, yeah.
Nobody thought to put an S and make it possessive, so Florida's Office was available, so I incorporated it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got TampaPlumber.net, I think, in like 2002.
And that was huge, too.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah, unfortunately the .com was already taken. But
right.
Whatever.
That's okay. Well, you see Ryan's hat there, Kevin? 813 Plumber. So he pulls that number off, okay? And we're sitting out on my back patio one day, and he's like, why don't you have 813 Mortgage? I was like, why don't I, right? So I get online. He gets online. Right? He searches it for me, and believe it or not, 813 Mortgage was a Magic Jack phone number. You know what that thing is?
Oh, yeah, right.
Infomercials would plug your phone into your computer.
Unbelievably.
So for 5 years, and this is the Business Happy Hour, so we like to talk business tips for people. Find these interesting tag lines, these interesting tag numbers and things like that. You'd be surprised what's out there still.
It is. I mean, the vanity numbers are incredibly valuable.
Yeah. And you know what I pay? And this is going to blow you away, business owners. What I pay for 813 Mortgage, the phone number, $127 every 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that insane?
I paid $250 from a gentleman who owned the cell phone.
Right.
And that was it. Flat rate, done.
So that's the other. That's why I asked you if you had to buy that, Kev, because that like Ryan, he found a guy that it was his cell phone and he bought it. And I told somebody else the other day, I was a realtor, and I told him to try and get like 813 Realty or something like that. And I said, just call the number. If somebody answers, say, hey, is this your personal phone? Hey, I'll give you $100. Can I have your number?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, now 813 Plumber is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars now because I've put so much marketing behind it.
Right.
But even without the advertising, it's probably worth $50,000, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, I
and
mean,
also, don't assume anything.
Do not
exactly.
assume. Exactly.
But if you assume, you'll lose out. If you don't assume, that's when you find
exactly
the loopholes.
Yeah, people don't think it's possible. But so then I did that, and then like a year later, I'm like, why don't I have 813mortgage.com? And I could not believe I typed that in, and it was available. So I was like, $30 a year. I've got 813mortgage.
You know what's crazy is that the .com for 813 Plumber was already taken. I had to get the .net.
Dang it.
But which was fine because I had the .net for my main URL site. So
yeah, makes sense.
I mean, I own like 250 domains, of which I use like 5.
Man, see, that works
but
out.
I just block everyone else from kind of coming in my territory.
So watch out tomorrow. Kevin's going to own some sort of crazy phone number. It's going to be like, hey,
I hope so.
Honestly,
I hope so, and I hope everyone that's listening is getting their gears are turning because, I mean, it makes your marketing and your advertising much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your branding is much easier.
So you guys might be wondering, where's Doug? Doug Ford, the owner of Suncoast Roofing Solutions, is Not here. He's not on a roof. He said he is speeding down the veterans right now. So if you're a highway patrol and you're watching us live, look out for a black NSX, probably doing about $120 heading south on the veterans. Tag number C6719.
In the express lane.
In the express lane, right? I thought it was a carpool lane, but it's not. So
It's not. It's not.
It's just Doug. He's breaking 2 laws. But speaking of laws, so known Kevin for a while. Yeah, great attorney. We always talk about legal stuff together. He also does title work, getting into title, so that works with me in the mortgage industry. But primarily, Kevin is family and business law, and of course, we're the Business Happy Hour. So we've been talking about having Kevin on for a long time. And what drove me to really ask him hard to come on today was what's going on with the new Florida gun laws. Not going to get into it right this second. We want to talk about a couple local things first. But Kevin and I were bantering over the last couple of nights over what seems to have passed in Florida regarding possibly the most restrictive gun laws I've ever seen or in the country. And specifically want to get Kevin's opinion on, I can't remember the legal Latin term, but retroactive laws, right?
Sure, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that, right. Like, how is a law constitutional when it's doing something retroactively? But we'll be getting into that. The most local stuff we have, I do have to give a shout out to somebody here in a minute, but the local stuff is Volta, Cirque du Soleil. If you haven't seen it, it's a wonderful show. But did you guys hear what happened this last weekend?
That guy fell from the...
Yeah, he fell during his act. So apparently one of the Cirque du Soleil performers, who my wife's, one of her best friends is actually good friends with him. She's a Chinese Cirque, she does it in China. Cirque performer, and they had just met him the week before.
Wow.
He had been practicing this new act, I guess, for months.
He wasn't a rookie either. He was 15 years in.
Oh,
this guy.
no, extremely experienced guy. Been practicing this new act, and he actually tweeted something the night before and said something to the effect of, "This is going to be my first time live on stage doing this act. I've been trying it. It's time to bring this to the world."
God.
So, I mean, talk about irony.
Cryptic message.
Cryptic, right?
Yeah,
So he sends that message, and then apparently right during the performance, he slips and falls from the things he was holding on to, the ring things on his hands or whatever the things are, and falls to his death in front of all those people. So, I mean, our hearts go out to that guy and to the family. You know, everybody who watched that, I mean, that's something you'll never forget.
No.
That's just terrible.
No.
Absolutely
All
terrible.
around.
Hey, when you're flying through the air, 30 feet in the air, and I mean, one slip,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of not that surprising that it would happen at some point. And I did look back on it, and I have seen a couple fatalities.
It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, my wife said, she says, well, man, why don't they have nets? And I'm like, well, that's what you're paying for, to see the guys do it without nets. You know?
They know what they're getting into, and
yeah.
you know, you never expect that to happen, but certainly,
Gosh.
Yeah, you
I
don't.
imagine if they could choose, he probably still would have done it again.
Absolutely. I think so. I mean, you
That's
know,
what you love to do.
our professions are dangerous, you know?
Yeah. That's why we have safety meetings.
That's right. That's right.
Got to have safety meetings.
Ryan, you know, all kind of fecal matter and things. He's dealing with that.
We're more. No. It's,
Ryan's like,
a
no.
typical mortgage broker comment. Right? No, we're more worried about like falling hazards. You know that.
Oh, it's not fecal coli.
Or
Okay.
trench safety. Trench safety's big one.
Trench safety is good. Actually, Ryan showed me some cool stuff back in the day. Sorry.
Things will actually kill you.
Actually, forget fecal coli, right? No, this one job he did, they dug down like 20 feet, and you're showing me how they had to actually like brace it, like you guys were in a cavern. You have to brace things as you go down. In Florida, the water table is real high, so you can drown.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the type of soils you're in, you have to have different types of trench safety, and that job we had to construct two boxes, and then we also had to ram sheet piling in on the sides of the trench boxes.
That's crazy.
When you're digging 20 feet below the ground in Florida,
yeah, you're digging
anyone
a pool.
that's in construction knows what that means. I mean, it's like kind of building the bathroom on the moon.
Absolutely. And then, of course, attorneys, you know, dangerous job sometimes there. I mean,
I hope you have a good lawyer.
yeah, exactly. He does have a good lawyer.
You get shot at in the courtroom or after.
Right. Well, I mean, you see more. Let me ask you, Kevin, in all your legal career, let's have a little fun here. You see these videos of guys like attacking the defendant or attacking the judge or something like that. Have you ever seen that in person? Does that ever happen?
I haven't seen it in person. I know when I was at the public defender's office, there was an issue with somebody reaching for a deputy's gun. I didn't see it. I wasn't in that courtroom. He didn't get it.
Right.
But it certainly made an issue and made people rethink the safety protocols and everything. Which it takes stuff like that to happen. For people to start thinking about it again, but
That's
no,
crazy.
I haven't seen it. Although the Michigan State guy, I know that one of the parents of one of the victims wasn't here in Tampa. But
Yes,
he was trying to fight the guy.
He made it halfway across.
Yeah, I did see that.
Now look, that guy. If I was a judge, I would have been like, let him go.
Yeah. Temporary
did,
insanity. We're gonna go ahead and clear him now.
Yeah. I don't think they charged him, did they?
They didn't charge him, I think, or even fine him.
No.
They just sort of reprimanded him and said they just can't tolerate that type of behavior. But I don't blame him.
But I think like his daughter was raped or something.
Yeah,
two.
Yeah,
two
exactly.
daughters were raped. Yeah, so, the judge is probably like, look, if this was out back, we'd probably be okay with this.
Yeah, we would let him go.
You're like,
if no one was watching,
you
man.
want 5? Okay.
Actually, I think I think that's what he asked, didn't
Here's
he?
a bat.
They're 5 minutes, yeah.
That's what his speech was. He goes, Your Honor, I'd like 5 minutes with the defendant or whatever. So, hey, good for him. So if Kevin's your attorney, he'll get you the 5 minutes that you asked for. So.
Can't promise that.
I'll promise it. All right, Doug's here. Doug just came in. We got how we doing, Doug? Doing good?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there, man. We did a shout out to all the troopers on the veterans to let them know that you were speeding down here. So.
The cars past me were like 120. I was like,
I've noticed cars are going faster now in the veterans with the express lane.
Yeah.
Cops aren't pulling people over at 70 right now.
No, I don't think so either. No.
So they hate it when I go 65 in the express lane then? Is that what you're telling me?
I hate it.
I do that.
Yeah,
I do that.
I hate you.
I get in the express lane with my F-350, put that thing on cruise control.
I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to see.
So sad.
Does anybody know what those orange things would do to your car if you slide over them at 65, 70? Gary knows. Is it bad for my vehicle? Nah.
Little scuff on it.
Wait, you're talking about the barricade?
Yeah, those barricades.
Those little reflectors?
They bend over.
Why would you hit them, though?
Because of people like you driving 30 in the express lane.
Well, didn't you hit the other
You're going to get out of your
I'm gonna
lane
pass
to
you.
avoid? Oh, my God.
Didn't you hit him the other day coming down here, I thought?
I almost
This is
did.
why you guys are so busy.
Kevin, this is why Kevin. Hey guys, we got 10 seconds. We got to take a break. As soon as we get back, we got to do a quick shout out to one of my clients, and we're going right into the Florida gun laws. Are they constitutional? Are they not? What is happening with retroactive laws? We'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. Thank you for choosing us for all of your plumbing, septic, and water treatment needs. What makes us different at TampaBay Plumbers is that we're a local full-service plumbing contractor that can handle any project, large or small, including cured-in-place pipelining, septic installations, and various water treatment products. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or 24/7 by phone at 813-PLUMBER. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you. This is Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. At some point, we've all had to have a drain line snaked out. This typically involves running a steel cable through the drain line in an effort to clear a blockage. This often leaves a film of scale or buildup on the inside of the pipe with a hole in the middle. The only way to properly descale a drain line is to perform a hydrojet service. We use equipment that essentially pressure washes the inside of the pipe, leaving your drain lines free and clear. The two symptoms of a sewer backup are foul odors and slow-moving drains. If you are experiencing either of these, contact us at tampaplumber.net or 813-PLUMBER. My name is Ryan, and I'm the production manager for TampaBay Plumbers, your one-stop shop for all of your plumbing and septic needs. We pride ourselves on building the reputation as the best plumbing and septic company in the Tampa Bay area. But don't take it from me. Look us up on Google and you will see that we have a 4.8-star rating with over 100 reviews. We also have multiple awards and recognition from multiple online review sites such as Angie's List, Yelp, and Facebook. We do everything plumbing and septic, from residential to commercial, new construction to service. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER. I'm Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. As a plumbing and septic company with over 100 years of combined experience, we know how frustrating a sewer backup can be. That is why we pride ourselves on being able to identify the cause of a problem before a backup ever happens. One of the tools we use to identify a problem in the sewer system is a video inspection camera. This camera runs through the drain line and is able to identify and locate any problems in the sewer system on a live feed. We then take that information from the live feed and are able to provide a recommendation on how to best fix the problem, oftentimes without the use of any excavation. If you are experiencing any problems with your sewer system, you can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER.
Hi, I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers, and welcome to our website. So what's different about Tampa Bay Plumbers? Everything is different about us. Our company does literally everything that involves plumbing, water, drainage, sewer, septic. We handle it from A to Z, which is completely different than just about every company in town. If you call a plumber, they don't do septic necessarily. Definitely if you call a septic contractor, they don't do plumbing. In addition to doing a very wide scope of services, we do them extremely well. And the reason why is our process and our people. We have spent many years perfecting our craft, and we've also spent many years finding the best people to operate our system. And we have by far the best plumbers in town. I will put my guys up against any companies, anywhere, anytime, any place. And that's just evidence in the type of quality work that we put out. Go online and look at our reviews on Google, look at our reviews on Angie's List. No one else is as highly rated as us unless they're putting bogus reviews up. But our company takes a lot of pride in what we do on a daily basis, and we hope that you give us a chance. Again, I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers. Thanks a lot for visiting our site.
You have been listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
Hey, guys, welcome back to the show. Doug came running in at 126 miles an hour here.
Not even close.
Not even close. I'm not going to say how fast he was going on the
No, I really
veterans.
wasn't going that bad. That's why I was late. But there's cars flying by me like 120 at least.
Oh, man, gotta love the veterans. Gotta love it. So in studio, I introduced him earlier in case you guys are just now tuning in, is Kevin Meredith, a friend of mine from FloridasLawOffice.com. Kevin got into the business primarily under Florida law, but now he also does business law and doing some stuff in the title world as well, which is my world.
Family law.
Family law. What did I say?
Title
Florida
law.
law.
Title
Florida
law.
law.
Florida law. I said he's into Florida
I
law.
wasn't going to correct you. You're the guy
So,
running the
hey,
show.
that's all right.
I'm going to bite the hand that feeds me, you know.
Family law?
Family
Family
law.
law,
That's
yeah.
how you got started?
That's how I started. Yep.
Yeah, family law. And from
It's probably a pretty good practice considering 50% of marriages get divorced.
yeah, that's a good point, Doug. That's a good
Solid
point.
to be a pretty
Yeah.
good practice.
Yeah.
I guess
Me.
you're always going to have demand. I mean, you're always going to be in demand.
Well, they say I think it's 50% of people married get divorced, 60% of second-time marriages get divorced, and 70% of third-time marriages get divorced. Pretty bad odds.
So what, you don't learn the first time?
Apparently not. It gets worse.
Think of that. So my dad went through 2. He's on the 3rd. So he's doing good. He's beating the odds. He's beating the odds. So
All right.
also depends on your age. When you get to a certain age,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, just blank it. You know what I mean? Just stick with them. You know? Anyway.
Fair.
That's terrible. Sorry, honey. We're already at that age.
Are you at that age?
We're at that
Are
age.
you at that age?
Yes.
Miserable, but it's too late.
Yeah, that age was 15 years ago when I fell in love with you. Oh, man, don't hit record.
Check to make sure she's
live?
not listening.
Are we live right now? Yeah, I know. I should log into the Facebook right now. Gary, let me know. Anyway, so I brought Kevin on because I fell out of my chair the other day when somebody sent me a video link. And this wasn't an official video, so I brought Kevin in to actually help explain what is actually the truth and what isn't the truth. But I'm going to give you some of my just random person knowledge that I've seen online. You know, it's all real online, right? But it basically, what scared me the most about these new Florida gun laws wasn't necessarily the 18 to 21, although I question the constitutionality of that, for buying a rifle, a long gun, because that previously, if you were 18, you could buy a long gun. But what really scared me was some of these statutes they're talking about with respect to retroactive laws, to where if you own a bump fire stock or anything that is said to increase the rate of fire of your firearm, any addition, which could be one of those little hand cranks, so you could just be able to buy for $50 at Dick's, okay, or for instance some sort of trigger, a binary trigger, or even as much as just a lighter pound trigger, a 1 or 2 pound trigger. I mean, come on, what's the purpose of a shorter reset and a shorter trigger? Is, you could say more accurate fire or faster fire. Mm-hmm. So all of these could fall under this law. And what's scary that I saw, and again, Kevin's going to give me the truth, is that they're saying that come, I think it's October, they're going to become illegal. So if you own one, you're a felon. without any buyback?
Well, I think you're
possible.
Probably a felon if you get caught using it. I would think that you can own it as long as you're not going to use it towards something.
So the video I saw says no, but you know what? None of us are attorneys. We're darn good roofers, plumbers, and mortgage guys. Let's go to the attorney. Kevin, let's just open the conversation.
So I did pull the actual statute
Okay.
that was enacted. It does say possess. So
wow.
to have it on you. So what bothers me the most is that something that would be a constitutional right one day, the next day is a felony.
Right.
It's not. It's
but
different.
I mean, they're not going to go door to door and search your houses, and
How is this possible?
No, but they would have the right to.
If they got probable cause that you had a bump
now,
stock, they could get a
but
warrant.
I mean, technically, when you buy something that's registered, the place that sold it to you has it registered. Are they going to go ask for all those addresses?
That came up. That came up, and it said
that's what's so scary about it.
Is there any precedence for this in the past?
Right.
Not really, because this is a constitutional right we're talking about.
Right.
So there's times where conduct is criminalized while a person's already doing it, like maybe possessing drugs before certain drugs are made
But
illegal.
they were already illegal.
But there's no constitutional right saying you have the right to possess drugs.
Right.
So,
like, what's the difference, Kevin, in them saying sports cars over 400 horsepower are now illegal tomorrow? I mean, is it not the same exact thing?
Similar.
It is similar, but that wouldn't be as much of a problem because there's no constitutional right to have a fast car.
Okay, but how about this? And I know on guns what we're saying is constitutional right, the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment. But is there a right to own a bump stock? Is that, do we have a constitutional right to own that?
Well, that's where the argument is. But as of right now, yes, there's no federal law that's interpreted the Second Amendment to mean that you cannot own a bump stock. So therefore, the definition of it, the opposite of that is, well, then it's legal.
It is, of course.
So if the federal government says that it's legal under the Second Amendment, then how can a state take that right away from you?
Right. Where a state in some instance can put laws in place that are stricter than the federal government, but they can't do something that's clearly against the Constitution.
Well, they can't. The state can grant rights, but they can't take away a right that the federal government has given to you.
Really? So, okay. So
I think
is this a Florida law that passed, or
it's only Florida?
I mean,
so why would Florida only pass a bump stop law?
Because I think they know that it's not constitutional and it's just a legislative ploy to
Gotcha. It's smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
So
that's your opinion.
The more I read this, yeah.
So tell us about it. So tell us about some of the statute. What have you seen in there?
Well, first, it does raise the age from 18 to 21 to buy a long gun, whatever, a rifle,
rifle or shotgun.
But that just mimics the federal law by just raising the age to 21. Handgun is already 21.
Right.
But by taking the right, the federal government says you can buy one at 18. Florida's saying you have to wait till you're 21. They're taking away a federally granted right under a constitutional amendment, so it's not constitutional. Because you can't take away a right that's already granted. They could say, we're not going to have an age at all on possession of handguns.
Didn't the NRA already file suit again to block it because of that?
That was one of the issues, and I'm sure that the legislator talked to the NRA and was like, look, it's not going to be constitutional, but we have to do this right now.
That's what happens behind the scenes in courtrooms, right? It's like, hey, look, we're going to do this,
Here's the heads up.
Yeah, here's the heads up.
It doesn't actually mean this.
I'll see you on the course at 4.
Exactly. Bring your gun.
Yeah, bring your gun. I'll be at
we'll go clay shooting afterwards. Yeah.
You want to shoot some bump stocks later?
Yeah. I've got some fully auto here.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, we were talking about at our production meeting how when prohibition of alcohol came down, they if you had alcohol on your property, you could consume it.
You could possess and consume it. I looked this up last night. After Prohibition, you could possess and consume. You could not sell, distribute, or manufacture, right? So the same thing. As much as I disagree with the law, any of these laws, I still don't understand how you can enact something retroactively and make me a felon for when I did something legally, a week ago. If I went and bought one of these little things a week ago,
I don't see how it could ever be constitutional.
Right.
I don't.
Well, you could get arrested for it, but then obviously if it goes to higher up, courts, they're gonna just
might as well get divorced and lose half my money if I'm gonna fight that battle.
Or we should just buy some cheap real estate in North Korea. I mean,
hey, we got 8 seconds.
Sell the property.
Let's pick this conversation up when we get back, guys. You're listening to the Business Happy Hour, and don't forget we have a podcast now, an iHeart podcast. So look that up. We'll be back in just a minute.
Attention, soldiers. This is General Mortgage here with a special announcement. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. Number 1, you better say thanks to the veterans for everything they've done. Number 2, you better be using the right mortgage company, 813 Mortgage. And don't forget, you drop the E, we'll shoot them fees.
Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
All right, guys, back to the show, and we're in the middle of this heated debate, talking about it on the break. So prohibition, they didn't make it retroactive to possess. I was even thinking about, I think it was in '86, after the shooting of Brady with the attempted assassination of Reagan, is when they enacted the machine gun bill, and it said that you could no longer own a machine gun in the United States as a citizen produced after 1986. So a lot of people don't realize that machine guns are completely legal. However, you have to pay for a $200 tax stamp and additional government background check to be able to own it. Same with a silencer or a sawed-off shotgun.
And that's what they should do with, I feel like, any assault rifle or any, rifle that has high magazine capacity.
What, put a stop to it now and say you can't have it here forward?
And that would
going forward. That would solve the problem.
That would solve a lot of the problems.
Put that in there.
Right. Now,
that would solve a lot of the problems that we're dealing with right now and all the people with all the gun issues.
Well, look, I wholeheartedly disagree with you, but I would be okay with that. Okay? I don't believe in any additional gun laws, period, but I'm not going to fight you or anybody else if they say, okay, from here forward, we have to change these, because let's think about it, guys. Do you know how many AR-15s are in Florida alone?
Yeah, I get it.
You know,
I get it. But at the same time, it's doing something now.
Okay, yeah. So it kind of makes us feel good, just like Gary scratching my back right now.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
But when he's done, it's over.
If, just hypothetically speaking, if we owned AR-15s, they would probably go up in value.
Well, they did. So do you remember back during the assault weapon ban?
Not as much, though. I mean,
like,
look how much machine guns are.
Oh, okay. So like right now,
they're what, 20 times the cost of an AR?
Yeah. Well, an M16 right now, if you can find one under $24,000, call me immediately.
Well, that's my point.
that's my point. You know what I mean?
Like, that's my point. Yeah. So like if hypothetically you did own an AR-15,
hypothetically, yes. If hypothetically,
I just think that a lot of things are going on. Like a lot, it has been a lot of ARs, hasn't it? A lot of the issues with schools and.
Well, the most recent one. It's the weapon of choice, obviously, but the most recent one, I think, was at Maine or Massachusetts or something like that. Kid came in to kill his ex-girlfriend with a pistol, and the resource officer confronted him and killed him. So one person died, who was the intended target, and the resource officer did his job and stopped him. So it's my favorite saying of a good guy with a gun can stop a bad guy.
And hardly was televised, was it?
No, you have to search online for an hour to find the story. Of course, Fox News, true and correct, came out with it. Doug's favorite show, CNN, didn't.
I don't watch the news at all. None of those. None of them.
Only Fox, Doug.
None of them.
So going back to Kevin, so this whole thing, this retroact, is there any precedent on anything that you know about that got put in place retroactively, where they went back and decided you're going to tell you to throw it away, we're going to give you no money for it, and it's illegal?
Well, basically, no, not a state statute taking away a federal right.
Right, so that's the problem.
Retroactively. It's really twofold, but the bigger issue is it's legal under the federal constitution, so the state can't take it away.
So they could fight. They could fight whether these triggers and stocks are actually protected under the Second Amendment. That would be the first fight, I assume.
Right, because you would say, well, they haven't outlawed it, so by not explicitly outlawing it, they've condoned it.
Right,
so it's legal.
Well, they have. The ATF gives a little card when you buy those triggers or their stocks, and it's like a little notification. It's basically a letter from the ATF with an opinion saying that these are not considered illegal. Blah 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 blah. They're not saying that they are legal, but they're saying that they are not illegal.
But to make something criminal, you have to explicitly say
it is
what
illegal.
Conduct is prohibited or it's not an enforceable statute. You
And
have
so
to be on
according-
notice of what you can and can't do.
Right.
That's also constitutional law.
Right. So this is a constitutional issue, any way we look at it.
So, which is why this was just all political grandstanding by Rick Scott. Rick Scott's going to be running for senator.
As I was going to say, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
trying to get some votes.
Very clear.
And it also says the first part about possessing, or not possessing, but for a person, no person younger than 21 can purchase a firearm. It doesn't say you can't own one.
Oh.
So people want to make it seem as if you're taking away an 18-year-old's right to have a gun in his house. I'm reading it saying no, they're explicitly not saying that. They're saying you can't purchase one. But then they talk about the sale and transfer only applies to licensed manufacturers. And there's very specific language in here that's not contained in other parts of the statute.
So in other words, if my daughter's 18, well, you know, before I even say that, I was going to say if my daughter's 18, that means I could give her a gun, basically, because I'm not a dealer, I'm not a company, I'm handing her something.
But it says purchase. It doesn't say you can't give someone who's not a licensed dealer a firearm.
So I'll bring this question to Gary too, because I thought I remember when I was younger that there was like a rule when you're 16 you could possess a hunting rifle and stuff like that. I wonder what the rule is there. I don't think there a law?
There's no federal law that addresses
possession.
Right.
So
of that.
It's purchasing.
I think we need to hop in on the mental health issue of it, because that to me was the scariest thing.
Okay.
You know, that someone can basically say, hey, I could go to the police and say, hey, this person, Mr. Frank here, he's insane. And I think
this is hypothetical, guys.
He owns guns.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm
also hypothetical.
Yeah. So obviously that, you know, what does it say about the mental health aspects of it in here?
It does, and it is hard to write that out in a statute. I think they actually did a decent job of trying. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it talks about being actually adjudicated by a judge, or a judge actually finding you mentally incompetent.
Oh, like Baker acted almost?
So if you're undergoing a Baker Act, you can't have the gun, which is pretty standard anyways. You can't have a gun if someone files a domestic violence injunction, they'll take your gun. So there's already instances of that occurring right now.
Okay.
So
it's not someone, Joe Smith can't say, hey, this guy has guns and I think he's crazy, and that'd be enough.
Potentially, because the police can file these protective orders that they created, or the police can initiate almost a lawsuit unilaterally against somebody saying that they shouldn't have these weapons. And you could go to the police and you could be the genesis of that investigation, but you can't just go and get it taken away. You could have somebody Baker acted, but they get the gun back within 24 hours of being discharged.
Wow. Okay, so hey guys, I gotta take a quick second. I have a special guest in my office right now with my staff. Her name is Lisa Cummings. She is one of the most incredible buyers we've ever worked with, and I'll tell you why. Because she was so thankful for our services, and we were so thankful for her, of course, as well. But she brought lunch to my entire staff today. I don't know in your businesses how often you have a client bring you lunch. But it is so, yeah, right? Well, he's an attorney. But so yeah, some of them should, though.
A lot of them are very thankful and grateful.
Of course. But it blows my mind. Like this, Lisa, thank you so much for doing this for us. You are a pleasure to work with. We all loved you, and I wanted to give you a special shout out on the radio and tell you how thankful we are for you doing that. It means so much to us. You know, so many times we work with tough clients, and we get done and we pull off a miracle, and we don't feel appreciated, and you've made myself and my entire staff feel appreciated. So I hope you like what we did for you in return as well, and I hope you have a great weekend, and we thank you very much for doing that. So, all right, back to guns. Sorry, Lisa. So you know, going back with the constitutionality of the whole thing, that's really the key, I guess. And wouldn't this have to go, I guess, to the Florida Supreme Court before anything ever got challenged, or is not really?
Well, they're already challenging it in federal court to prevent them from applying it. It would probably take somebody getting arrested.
That's what I was
convicted,
thinking.
And then appealing it, and then it's slowly working its way up. It would probably take 6 to 7 years before it got to the United States Supreme Court.
So unfortunately, somebody has to get
probably already
arrested
served their 5 years in prison.
Right? Yeah, that's terrible.
Really? So all right. So if I have a binary trigger, and that's I don't know what does it mandate what type of sentence they would get for that?
It says a third-degree felony, which is between 0 to 5 years in prison.
So, but all right. So if I
hypothetically
posted bail, let's just say I posted bail, I mean, while they're trying this thing the whole time, I would be out on bail, wouldn't I?
Well, you should just really hope that the U.S. Supreme Court comes down and just strikes it.
Yeah.
But if it was still lawfully enacted, then yeah, you'd still be out on bail, and eventually you have to go to trial.
Yeah.
If you're not going to plead to it, assuming the person in this position wouldn't be pleading because they're going to try challenge the constitutionality of it.
Yeah, of course.
Go to trial, jury trial, lose.
You don't. I know third-degree felony. A felony, you would lose your right to own a gun, but not until you would actually be convicted, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you can keep that weapon cache until it happens.
You know, it's sad because the victims of Parkland, I mean, they wanted a solution. You know, the families, they wanted some solution. Instead, we get some BS.
Right.
Nonsense like this that's never gonna pan out, and will it ever is it actually gonna make a difference? You know, I don't
that's
know.
The real
Probably
thing.
not.
But then again, they could change the law and say that this is constitutional. I mean, the whole Obama tax thing we didn't think was constitutional. The U.S. Supreme Court made up new law and made it constitutional. So I mean, they do have the power. It's not set in stone. From my legal analysis, based on what I think and what I've read, it's. As the law is right now, is not constitutional.
You see anything else in there that bothers you and concerns you in the statutes?
Well, not really, because it's not really enforceable. It doesn't really change anything. It just mostly mirrors the federal law. It raises the age of 21, but that's not constitutional as it is right now.
Right.
Well, the most important thing, ownership of the gun.
Right.
In the
That's
home.
the key that I didn't read. That's very interesting. So it does not actually ban ownership.
No,
except for the fact of the bump stocks and the other stuff.
Right, but a handgun or a long gun, which is already 21, you can have it. You can get it from somebody. You just can't purchase it.
Right. If you're what age?
If you're
under
21.
Age? Yeah.
How does it make sense? So you can go to join the military, but you can't get a gun?
Well, that's what
there is an exception.
You can also vote.
There's an exception?
There's an exception.
But you can't get a gun?
Can't get a gun.
Military.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh, there is. Actually, there's a few exceptions. And if you hold a hunter education course.
That's for a long gun.
That's for the long gun. So if you've had the hunter education course, or you have a CCW, or you have a military background, there's a few reasons that you would be allowed to still purchase the gun under 21, I'm assuming is what it's saying.
Right.
Something
and
like that.
one of them would be the police officer, or military.
Right. And I noticed hunter education course, but the funny thing is to get your hunting license, this started like 20 years ago. You had to go take a weekend hunter education course even to get the license. So anybody who has a hunting license after a certain age, you've done this. So, I mean, I guess you've kind of exempted yourself. Or Effectively, you have. Or just go get your CCW.
I'll tell you, just listening to this banter back and forth, I'm highly motivated to call and renew my membership to the NRA. Because, you know, I mean, it makes you feel that much. That's why they exist.
Yeah.
Stuff like this.
Got a lifetime membership. Do it. Might as well.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's a no-brainer. I mean, because
we got to take a quick break.
This is crazy.
We'll be back in just a minute. Don't forget, go to the iHeartRadio app and search for the Business Happy Hour and start watching us on there anytime, 24 hours a day. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. Thank you for choosing us for all of your plumbing, septic, and water treatment needs. What makes us different at TampaBay Plumbers is that we're a local full-service plumbing contractor that can handle any project large or small, including cured-in-place pipelining, septic installations, and various water treatment products. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or 24/7 by phone at 813-PLUMBER. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you. This is Ryan with TampaBay Plumbers. At some point, we've all had to have a drain line snaked out. This typically involves running a steel cable through the drain line in an effort to clear a blockage. This often leaves a film of scale or buildup on the inside of the pipe with a hole in the middle. The only way to properly descale a drain line is to perform a hydrojet service. We use equipment that essentially pressure washes the inside of the pipe, leaving your drain lines free and clear. The two symptoms of a sewer backup are foul odors and slow-moving drains. If you are experiencing either of these, contact us at tampaplumber.net or 813-PLUMBER. My name is Ryan, and I am the production manager for TampaBay Plumbers, your one-stop shop for all of your plumbing and septic needs. We pride ourselves on building the reputation as the best plumbing and septic company in the Tampa Bay area. But don't take it from me. Look us up on Google and you will see that we have a 4.8 star rating with over 100 reviews. We also have multiple awards and recognition from multiple online review sites such as Angie's List, Yelp, and Facebook. We do everything plumbing and septic, from residential to commercial, new construction to service. You can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER. I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers. As a plumbing and septic company with over 100 years of combined experience, we know how frustrating a sewer backup can be. That is why we pride ourselves on being able to identify the cause of a problem before a backup ever happens. One of the tools we use to identify a problem in the sewer system is a video inspection camera. This camera runs through the drain line and is able to identify and locate any problems in the sewer system on a live feed. We then take that information from the live feed and are able to provide a recommendation on how to best fix the problem, oftentimes without the use of any excavation. If you are experiencing any problems with your sewer system, you can find us at tampaplumber.net or call us at 813-PLUMBER.
Hi, I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers, and welcome to our website. So what's different about Tampa Bay Plumbers? Everything is different about us. Our company does literally everything that involves plumbing, water, drainage, sewer, septic. We handle it from A to Z, which is completely different than just about every company in town. If you call a plumber, they don't do septic necessarily. Definitely if you call a septic contractor, they don't do plumbing. In addition to doing a very wide scope of services, we do them extremely well. And the reason why is our process and our people. We have spent many years perfecting our craft, and we've also spent many years finding the best people to operate our system. And we have by far the best plumbers in town. I will put my guys up against any companies, anywhere, anytime, any place. And that's just evidence in the type of quality work that we put out. Go online and look at our reviews on Google, look at our reviews on Angie's List. No one else is as highly rated as us unless they're putting bogus reviews up. But our company takes a lot of pride in what we do on a daily basis, and we hope that you give us a chance. Again, I'm Ryan with Tampa Bay Plumbers. Thanks a lot for visiting our site.
You have been listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank Coto, Ryan Pelky, and Doug Ford. Now, back to the show.
All right, guys, so this is our last segment. We're going to finish up on the gun thing real quick, and then I've got a funny from someone in my office I got to throw out there, a little family law joke. But yeah, if there is a such thing.
We got to get to this spending bill, too,
yeah,
because it's going to have big implications on rates and all kinds of things.
So to finish up the gun thing, the only thing we had left was, if you guys didn't notice, YouTube last night decided they're going to start banning videos of anybody firing weapons, selling weapons, showing modification of weapons, or taking apart videos.
I kind of want to cancel my Facebook page, personally.
It's censorship.
That's First Amendment.
That's more scary than anything else.
Right.
It is.
Now
it's
you're
very
picking and
bad.
choosing the content you want people to see.
Google and Facebook are too powerful.
Hey, look, we're four successful business guys, right? Why don't we get together and start GunTube?
Let's do it.
GunTube. Dude, think about it. If they're going to dump them off one place, they need a place to go,
get the
don't
list
they?
of NRA subscribers and just send out a mailer.
But, hey, you know what? Most of them make money.
First way to go.
Oh, great idea.
Yeah, the problem is I would never want my product to be the people that are on our site. You know, that's how they make money.
Right.
They sell your information.
Right.
I mean, that's what they do.
Exactly. So let's get into the spending bill real quick, because this is huge, and then we're going to jump into family law and finish the whole show with the family law stuff. Let's do the trillion. What, 1.3 trillion, Ryan? You got that in law?
Yeah, and I just saw Trump is considering vetoing it. I really hope he does. There's nothing in there for DACA. There's barely anything for the border wall. Not to mention that the social programs are just ballooning out of control.
Mm-hmm.
1 trillion. It could result in a $1 trillion deficit for us. I'm of the opinion that we need to balance our budget.
You think?
Yeah,
why is that not in the talks?
It's unbelievable, and so I mean here
it's
we
not
are.
Even consideration.
Here we are with this huge debt, $21 trillion now, nearly, I think, or maybe even over. So what happens with a $1 trillion deficit, rates are going to go up.
Yes, that's the scary thing.
That's the scary thing.
What's the loan on a $21 trillion.
That's what
my
we're
calculator
talking
won't
about.
even do it.
Can we even afford that?
Your iPhone calculator
country
won't even
afford
calculate
that?
We will end up spending as much on servicing our debt as we spend on our military.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think
insane.
at that point, what do? You pretty much, we're in a point where we have to default.
Right. So what happens is the cost of government borrowing goes up, which means the rates have to go up.
Exactly.
Which guess who pays for it?
We do.
Us.
The Fed cannot control this forever.
No.
They want to, but they can't. No. And now that we're, kind of putting the screws to China a little bit, that makes it a little more nerve-wracking.
What happened to the stock market yesterday?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was the whole China thing, wasn't it?
I think that's overdue, personally, but you can't have a $1 trillion deficit also. You can't have both.
Well, we're paying a debt interest to China for the money that they've basically loaned us. Yet then we take that money and we're paying it out to like the Saudis and Afghans and all these other countries we're paying out money to. Does it make any sense?
No, it doesn't, because you know what? As long as you produce less than you consume,
right?
Think about that equation. How can someone sit over here and consume,
and not produce,
and they have no output happening?
Right.
It's a recipe for disaster. We've been doing it for 30 years, 40 years, and it's time to stop kicking the can down the road, and I really hope Trump does it today, vetoes the bill, and I don't care if they shut the government down for 6 months. They need to sort this out, balance the budget. We need to have DACA. We need to have immigration reform. We need to have the border wall.
Everything I've read looks like he's going to sign it.
He's now saying he's going to sign. Oh, boy, great. It just came up on the screen right behind you. Oh, boy. All right, well, that'll be next week's show. Well, you guys go. We'll go ahead and tease next week's show. How mad we are about this bill.
Cautiously optimistic is my approach right now going forward business wise. Cautiously optimistic.
And then the whole tax thing. I was at a tax seminar yesterday talking about all the taxes.
Right.
They screwed the small business.
Well, I did hear there's some loopholes about how you categorize the expenses.
They did it. Yeah. The only thing is, so your K1, you get a 20% discount on that, and then you get taxed on after that. But that's the only thing that they did.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, as long as you have a lot of K1 income.
Well, yeah, if you have a lot of K1,
which all four of us,
I get that. So if you have 200 grand K1 income, now you have 160. And now you get taxed on that 160 at your tax rate.
But there's some things about the meals and entertainment that it's a different category now that you put them into. So we're not going to lose that completely.
Yeah, you will.
It's interesting about canceling the S corp and just becoming a C corp.
Yeah, but they were talking about it yesterday. You can do that, but then you're going to get taxed at like a 46% instead of 39%.
Only if you take the money and put it in you personally. If you leave it in your business account to reinvest, you only get taxed.
But yeah, who's going to keep doing it? You got to make money at some point in time.
Right, so
the second you take that money, you're going to basically pay the 46%.
Right.
So it doesn't.
That's what I thought though, because in previous years I used to leave.
Now it depends
business.
if you live in other states. We live in Florida. We don't have state income tax, so it doesn't make sense in our state. But in other states, it does.
Right.
So.
All right, well, let's segue over into, we only have a few minutes left into the family law. Somebody in my office came up with something funny. She said she asks her daughters every day when deciding if they're going to get married, is this the man that you want your children to spend every other weekend with? So now I divert to the family law attorney, Kevin Meredith. Don't forget, you guys got to find him at floridaslawoffice.com or reach out to me or the show. We'll get you in touch with him. The number is 813-530-6020, 813-530-6020. Kevin, you got a couple minutes. Let's talk some family law, man. Who should come to you? Who are you looking for? Who's your best client?
How many times have you had your car keyed? That's what I want to know.
Zero.
See, that means he's a winner.
Either a winner or a loser. What way?
Or he parks in a parking garage.
I don't have a nice car to work, I guess.
There you go.
No, about 15 years ago, I dated a girl, and her dad was a prominent divorce attorney.
Yeah,
and he got his car keyed all the time, man, by the women that he just beat up.
Wow. No, but Kevin, you're a successful divorce attorney and also do business law, which is why we love having you on here. But reach out. We've got a minute and a half. Reach out to who's the best client for Kevin. Who should come talk to you?
Really, anyone that's going through a terrible situation. It's just good things happen or bad things happen to good people.
Right.
We understand that. There's a lot of emotions involved. People do things they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
But if you wait and you don't get an attorney, it's harder to undo the negative damage that's done, and it's more expensive in the end.
Right. And do you normally meet with the people up front and kind of understand what they're doing, and then you guys get into setting up agreements and stuff? And
sure. They call it as a personal referral. Usually most of the business has been built on personal referrals, and they'll come and talk to them, just explain what I can do, and I'll help what I can. I understand that not everybody wants to pay or doesn't have the money to pay, and so I do what I can, but eventually they come and meet face-to-face or whatever it is, and if they want to sign up, they can agree to the terms, and we'll go fight for them.
Nice. So I want to bring something up that most people have never heard of, and Kevin and I are going to be doing this together. He doesn't even know it. But I have a way through Lincoln Lending, if you're in the middle of a divorce and you need to buy a house, a new primary residence, before your divorce is final, which is a major thing for a lot of people going through divorces, I have found a legal loophole, 100% attorney vetted, to allow you as the husband or wife to purchase a new primary residence during the divorce without the spouse signing on the note. Okay, you have to call me.
Yeah, but
directly
don't they
to talk
legally
about
own 50%?
They do not with this loophole. I have a loophole. I'm not going to say how online because it's give all my competition the edge. But I'll tell you what, you guys are going to hear about it fast.
How do you get around income? Is it stated income also?
That's Kevin. But hey, Kevin, thanks for coming on the show, guys. Yeah. We got to cut it off. Don't forget, it's FloridasLawOffice.com. You're listening to the Business Happy Hour. Find us on the podcast on iHeartMedia. We'll see you guys next week.